It's amazing how the tables has turned and everything has come full circle. I can recall the days when, these Sony fans have been saying that Microsoft has no games, Xbox has no games. But now let me ask you a question. Who really don't have games? You see, today's announcements have these ponies spelling like this.
Spelling.
RAMEN.
What does that spell?
Noodles.
Even today's news have MBG telling the truth.
As MBG, I think it's time we have a Spider-Man 2 discussion members lounge. I don't know, man. I wanted to discuss Spider-Man 2, but I'll put it to you this way. If I discuss Spider-Man 2 in depth, it's going to happen way later, as in I replay it or revisit it, because I did talk about it quite extensively, but I didn't enjoy it that much. Like,
what do you mean by that?
I'll be honest with you. It's not that I didn't enjoy my time with it. Like, I had fun playing it, but man, it was just forgettable.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
Yes, the pony community is finally telling the truth. They are finally saying that they want Xbox games, and they are finally saying that 2024 is looking terrible so far for PlayStation. Even Greg Miller is saying it.
Can you imagine? This is the Xbox first party lineup for the year. PlayStation got Helldivers.
So yes, while the PlayStation community, why Sony is announcing cars, Microsoft, on the other hand, has announced there is going to be a major showcase happening on January the 18th. And guess what they are showing at that showcase? I can tell you one thing, it won't be any cars. It will just be first party exclusive content. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about some other news that is happening in the industry. So you know what? Let's talk about it.
This is a sickness.
Let's get it. So before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You will get more news and exclusive Xbox content just like this. In addition to that, I'm a good guy. I love to help out the animals.
Aww. Hey, Kids of
So subscribe. First up, let's talk about the Switch 2. Yes, the Switch 2, I have not spoken about Nintendo news for some time, but the rumors are starting to heat up. And recently we got some information concerning the specs. Now, if this information is true or not, again, I gave the example or the meaning of a rumor in the last video. So take it with a bucket of salt. This is a rumor. According to the Taiwanese Insider report on Switch successors, improved specs and $400 price. Now here are the rumored specs for the Switch 2. On a NVIDIA T239 processor, 8 GB of RAM, 64 GB of storage, greatly improved the battery life, 120 Hz screen refresh rate at a price of $400. Now when we look at these specs, well, if we want to look at the processor, that NVIDIA T239, we'll have to wait to see the type of graphics that could be produced by that chip, but we know that NVIDIA would have made some tweaks to this because of the success of the previous Switch. Now when we look at the 8 gigs of RAM, the 8 gigs of RAM isn't bad. It should have been 10, but it's not bad because the PlayStation 4 had 8 gigs of RAM, and we know that the games on the PlayStation 4, it ran fairly well, and also it didn't look too bad as well. Now the screen refresh rate and the battery life is good. The storage, that's 64 gigs of storage, that is an L. I mean, it's 2024 after all. Nintendo need to improve on that amount of memory. At least give us a gig, give us 512. Don't give us no 64. That is too. 128 is unacceptable as well. So Nintendo need to, even if they need to sell a console that is a little like more expensive, whether it be $500, no problem, but give us more memory in the console. So this is the rumored leak specs of the Switch 2. Let me know what you think about it in the comment sections below. Next up, let's talk about Microsoft exclusive Palworld, or it's a timed exclusive. Yes, Palworld. You see, Palworld is a Pokemon inspired game, but the big difference between this game is that they use guns. Yes, this game is coming out. Even Jeff Keighley Game Awards tweeted about it, and at the same time basically gave Microsoft the Xbox tax yet again. Jeff Keighley's Game Awards tweeted, Palworld will release on Friday, January 19th on Steam. Yes, but then fans started to call Jeff Keighley Game Awards out. So they shared this what Palworld tweeted. Palworld will be available to play day one on Game Pass for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One and Windows on January 19th. Yes, so Palworld had to clear that up. It's not only releasing on Steam, it's also releasing on Game Pass day one, on Xbox day one. So Jeff Keighley had the opportunity to say that this game was coming out both for Steam and for Xbox on Xbox Game Pass, but he only said it's coming out on Steam. What is that, guys? Isn't that the Xbox tax in full view? Well, let me hear what you think about this. Palworld, another time exclusive for Microsoft. So I ask you, Sony fans, who has no games? Sticking with that theme of who has no games, Microsoft announced yesterday that they would have their direct, their showcase, and they would be showcasing a number of games coming out for 2024. And a matter of fact, it would have some world premieres when it comes to gameplay of certain games they would have announced previously. Let's look at these games and see who really has no games. So based on the card that was shown, we see that Ninja Theory would be there in that direct. So what would Ninja Theory be showing? Well, of course, it's no secret, Hellblade 2. When Hellblade 2 was shown at Jeff Keighley Game Award, it blew everyone away with how good it looked. It's one of the best looking games ever. No doubt at that direct they should discuss the frame rate, which frame rate it would be. We should also see more gameplay with Hellblade 2. But one of the most important thing persons would want to know about Hellblade 2 in that direct is when exactly it is coming out in 2024, release date. So the first game we have for the direct that we know of is Hellblade 2. Sony fans, I ask you again, who has no games? Next up on the docket, we are seeing Obsidian would be there at that direct. So what could we expect from Avowed? The team at Obsidian will share the first deep dive into the gameplay experience fans can expect in Avowed, the upcoming fantasy action RPG set in the fantastical, vibrant living lands. Learn more about how Obsidian's expertise in building worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity come to life in Avowed, where players will have agency to make choices to shape every step of the adventure. So yes, this is what we could expect in Avowed. I know a lot of persons would have underestimated this game because of how it looked. The change, the graphical style when it came to Avowed, and they are underestimated it because of that. But we are full confident that this game would be fire because it's coming from Obsidian. You see, Obsidian would have taken their inspiration from developers like Bethesda. It's heavily themed just like Skyrim, so we know we could expect dungeons, we could expect secret caves, we could expect all of those sense of adventure when going into a game like this. So let me hear what you think about Avowed. Sony fans, once again, who has no games? You sure you want to go there? You want to know who has no games? Next up, we have a game coming from a studio named Oxide. So what is the name of that game? Ara, History Untold. Here from the leads at Oxide Games, a studio founded by veterans of the strategy gen and the creators behind classics strategy titles including Civilization V, as they unveil exclusive new gameplay and share more details about the inspiration, key features, and road ahead for their upcoming historical grand strategy game. Yes, so this is more like a Civilization game. If you're into those type of games, I know those type of games have its fans, but I'm not too into that style of game. But if you're interested in that, stay tuned for Ara. And let me just say, stay tuned, Xbox fan, for exclusives. And last but definitely not least, we have the game that has the industry talking. We have the game that has the ponies crying. We are talking about Indiana Jones. Yes, Indiana Jones would be shown for the first time at the next Xbox Direct. Now, what could we expect from this Indiana Jones? Let's see. Machine Games, the award-winning studio behind the recent Wolfenstein series, will reveal their upcoming Indiana Jones game, an action-adventure that puts players in the leather jacket and the legendary archaeologist. Developer Direct will showcase more than 10 minutes of gameplay and developer insights, including details about the game's settings and story, how fans will actually play as Indy, additional details from his next globe-trotting adventure, and the premiere of the first gameplay trailer. So what can we conclude from all this information that we spoke about today? That it's very clear the PlayStation community is projecting. They know that they have no games. For the whole year, the only game that they could really talk about is Helldivers. But we are seeing the plethora of games that Xbox have in store for its fan base, and we don't even know. That's already 4 first-party games dropping. We don't even know if there would be more, if there would be secret drops. We don't know, but all we know is that this year Xbox is fire. So please let me know what you think about everything that was said. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.